What's up guys, welcome back to Jammers, and today we are going to be ranking every single Angry Birds Mattel figure. Now as you can see, I actually made a custom Jammers figure. It's really nice.
And a jammy figure.
Yes, and I made a jammy figure, yeah. So I'm very proud of this, let me know what you think of it. So yeah, we're going to be ranking 21 Angry Birds Mattel figures. We're not going to be including accessorized pigs like Helmet Pig or Santa Hat Pig, etc, etc, because they're just pigs wearing hats, and I don't have all the accessorized pigs as well. But second of all, we're not going to be including the old birds and pigs, so the ones from the original On Thin Ice, Knock on Wood, and Spring is in the Air. I do have most of the figures with me here today. There's two that I don't have, but I'll be using other footage to show them off. But yeah, without further ado, let's begin. Our first figure here, some of you aren't going to include this as a Mattel figure, but I thought I'd include it since Mattel never made an actual official King Pig. So here is the Activity King Pig, also made by Mattel though. So this figure 100% goes in last place. It's the only one that isn't that great. It's extremely inaccurate, and it obviously doesn't fit in very well with the rest of the Mattel figures, considering it isn't squishy and it has a bunch of lines across it. So yeah, this is obviously made to give you the kind of DLC type thing in Angry Birds where you can play as the pigs and stuff. Yeah, honestly though, this figure just isn't it. I would recommend the Connect King Pig because it's way more accurate and way more size accurate. So yeah, this unfortunately had to come in last place. Before we continue, I just want to quickly say that I actually love all of these figures from this point onwards. They're all extremely accurate and great figures. Honestly, I'd recommend buying them if you can get them. But yeah, anyways, the reason why I'm saying this is because they're all so accurate. They're all great. There's really nothing wrong with them. So it's going to be super hard ranking them, but here we go. So in 20th place, we have Red. Now, this isn't the regular Red. This is the Red with the hair tufts. You might recognise this from the first episode of Angry Birds Adventures. Now, this Red is slightly different to the original Red. Like I said, it has these tufts here instead of it just being a straight line. Now, obviously, this is inaccurate. It is accurate to some, like, art, official art in the game, but, like, not the actual character of Red. So, unfortunately, I did have to put this figure in second to last place. I do love it though. It's really cool to have an exclusive version of Red with these tufts. Doesn't compare to the rest of the figures when it is just a recolor with slightly different tufts of hair. And in 19th place, we have Space Bomb, aka Fire Bomb. Now, I love this figure so much. This is a really great figure. So yeah, this figure is great. However, the only problem with it, the one problem, is the antenna. Now, the actual antenna in game is supposed to have fire on the end. The Connect figure did that great, but unfortunately this figure doesn't have that. I understand why, because the boxing would kind of make that hard and it would probably flop off, similar to Bubbles' hairpiece. So I understand why they didn't do that. However, it just ends up making this figure go quite near the end of the list, considering it's one of the only ones with an inaccurate floor. Okay, our next figure isn't with us today, but it's Stella. So Stella's in 80th place. Now, I love the Stella figure, and honestly, it gets a lot of hate. Lots of people say that it looks really bad, when actually, I actually really love it. I love it so much. However, I cannot deny the fact that it doesn't look too accurate. It is accurate. It is great. However, the face is kind of weird, and the tail sticks out, which is really weird too, considering none of the other figures have that other than Icebird, but you know, Icebird kind of has to have it. Overall though, a great figure, doesn't deserve the hate. However, unfortunately, I will be putting it down there. From this point onwards, we're not going to be talking about complaints, to be honest, considering these figures are almost perfect. So, our next figure in 17th place is Space Red, aka Super Red. Now, Super Red is great. However, there's a couple of things I want to talk about. Number one, it is just kind of, you know, a boring figure. There's really nothing they could have done about that, though. It's a boring design for a character, and the other space figures and characters are just way better. However, unfortunately, you know, that doesn't excuse the fact it is kind of a boring figure, and I do prefer the regular Red over it.
Can I say something? I think what would be really cool with this figure is if they gave it like an open mouth. I know that Stella's the only figure with that, but I feel like it would have done really well to distinguish it from the other Reds.
Yeah, I can see that, you know. That is actually a really cool idea. That would have been a cool idea if they gave it an open mouth. But yeah, this figure is just kind of boring. There's nothing they could have done about that, though. Okay, so our next figure's Chuck. This is another really great one. I love this figure, and before I had it, I loved it more. But since I've gotten it, I've liked it a bit less. I still do love this figure so much. However, I can't deny that it is slightly too big for Chuck's size. Again, I'm really nitpicking here, but if I had to rank them all, I just had to put Chuck down here, considering he is slightly too big for Chuck. He is almost the same size as like Matilda, which is kind of weird. And also, I feel like the fact that he's completely round is kind of weird, considering I feel like if he had slight edges, just slight edges, it would have worked a bit better like the plushies. As you can see down here, we have a TCC Global Chuck, and honestly, you can see how there are slight edges. I know it's completely different, a plushie and a figure, but I feel like something like this could have worked quite well. But again, really great figure. I really love this one, and honestly, I'm just nitpicking really hard because I need to, you know, obviously say something. Okay, this next pick really saddens me because this figure looks so cool, but it's Laserbird, aka Space Chuck. I'm really sorry, Space Chuck, you look so cool. However, you are another one that has some slight nitpicky problems. So, number one is the hair. The hair looks great from the side, but from the front, it looks dumb. I won't lie, it does look dumb from the front. Again, they really couldn't have done too much about this. I guess they could have put it to the side, but that might have been a bit weird. I don't know why they do that. I feel like they're trying to go for the idea of him like flying, which is why it goes back. And then the second thing is that, of course, the size once again, and especially since he has a cape, he is really big. But again, there's not really anything wrong about that. It's just, you know, the other figures are kind of just slightly better, considering they don't have any small problems like that. But this figure is so good. I love this one so much. Next up, we have the regular Minion Pig. I'm actually quite surprised this one beat out Laserbird. But I feel like the biggest problem here is just I've seen this one too much, obviously. There is one thing that I'd say might have made this figure better, which is if they gave him the mouth. Not like an open mouth or anything, but you know how they have that little, you know, mouth hanging down, which would have been really cool. However, I don't know, I'm not a designer, it might not have looked that great, who knows. Also, the snout being the same colour as the skin is a bit weird, considering, well, it should be a slightly lighter colour. But I'd let that slide, considering I think it would have looked a bit weird. I'm not going to lie, I feel like this actually looks better. Even if it isn't game accurate, I think this does end up looking like a better design. And I love this figure, but again, I have seen it a bit too much. Next is the regular red. There's not really anything wrong with this one. Similar to Super Red / Space Red, it's just kind of boring. But again, there's really nothing they could have done about that. I do think it would have been nice if, similar to this figure, I don't really know what this is from, but as you can see, you've got the darker red spots over to the sides of red. Now, I think those could have been really cool, but it also might have been a bit hard to paint that. I know that Mattel likes to have things sticking out rather than painted on, but considering they gave Terrence his lumps, I feel like they could have done that to red. But still a great figure. So we're getting to the point now where I have literally no complaints. I just love these figures so much, and now it comes more down to which ones are better rather than which ones are worse. So we've got Bomb here. Now, Bomb is literally a perfect figure. There's really no complaints I have. You know, it's just a really great figure, and I like him. However, again, as per normal, the only reason he isn't higher is because the rest of them are better. Our next figure is Incredible Terrence. Now, this is an incredible figure. However, unfortunately, it's just a recolor, which is why it's here. Obviously, that doesn't mean it's bad. It is great. And I know they couldn't have done anything about that, considering Rovio made it a recolor. But I do like this figure. We are now in the top 10, so let's see who's in it. Coming in at number 10, we have the Bluebird figure. This figure's really nice. I love this one a lot. Again, I really don't have anything wrong with this. There's one slight complaint, which is that the ring around the hole is a bit big, which I know the figure's small, so they couldn't really help that. But considering he is so small, you can see it when he's stood up. Again, they really couldn't have helped that. I love this figure so much. It's really cute. It's really adorable. It's just slightly better than the previous ones, though. And it's a really nice figure. We're at a point now where every single figure is just so good. These are just brilliant. Some of the best pieces of Angry Birds merch. Number 9, we have the Grandpa Pig figure, also known as Moustache Pig or Foreman Pig. I love this figure so much. It's honestly quite surprising how common this figure is. I know it's because it's in the Space Game set, but honestly, I feel like this figure deserves to be more rare considering how great it is. But I do love him so much. It's just a perfect figure, to be honest, and one of the first ones that I got. And in number 8, we have my brother Icebird. Let's get the whole trio in here. We've got the Icebird brothers. But yeah, Icebird is such a beautiful figure here. It's the only one besides Stella to have its tail sticking out, which is awesome. I like that detail. Yeah, great figure. I'm really glad that this figure exists because as you can see here, this is the Connects Iceberg. I used it to make Jammy, and it is way too small. So I am glad that we've got this figure here. Then we have Lightning Blue. This figure is just so cute. Lightning Blue, aka Space Blue. Gotta love this one. I honestly find it really weird that it doesn't have a tail. I know that's not the Mattel figure though, that's the actual character. I really never understood that. But hey, I just love this figure so much. So adorable. This takes the cake for the cutest fit. Oh, actually, it might not take the cake for the cutest figure, because there is still one more that might be cuter. I'll let you guys choose in the comments which one's cuter. I think you know who I'm talking about. But yeah, love Lightning Blue. In 6th place, we have Matilda. Again, all these figures are so great. But this is the last one that's just great. The top 5 are just the best. Just simply the best ones. They're like S tier. So yeah, Matilda is a really good figure though. However, I do have a problem with the Matilda figures, which is that sometimes they look like this. I have no idea why. Half of mine look like this, but then half look like this. It's really annoying, but I'm not going to be talking about those ones. I'm just talking about these ones. Yeah, great figure. I love this one. I love how egg-shaped it is. It's just like a perfect shape. However, I don't really like those weird sticky versions. I don't know what's going on there. We are now in the top 5. These are the S tier figures. I love these so much. These are literally just some of the best Angry Birds merchandise ever. So, let's do it. We've got the figures in front of us. Now, you might be thinking, oh, wait, why is it only 4? Well, one of them I don't have. It's Frozen Foreman Pig. So, let's see who's in which spot. So, number 5 is... It's Terrence. I'm so sorry to Terrence. This figure is literally beautiful. I love this figure so much. This was one of the last ones that I got. So, I was so happy when I got this figure. Terrence looks so great. You've got his head rumples. And you've got his spots. I love it. It's just an amazing figure. It's a beautiful figure. The only reason it isn't higher is because the other ones are just slightly better. And in 4th place is Hal. Hal. Oh my god. If you're a long-time viewer, you'd remember when I first got Hal. And I was so excited that I literally just had him in random videos in the background because he was just so cool. He does look really dumb like this, but obviously they couldn't help that. From the side, he looks beautiful. Mwah. Hal is amazing. Hal is the GOAT, and this figure is a must own. Editor Ethan here. I was just watching this back and I was just like, couldn't believe that I put Hal before Terrence. I'm not gonna lie, Terrence is a much better figure. I just love Terrence more. He's great. Sorry about that. One thing I must mention though is that this is based off of the Chrome version of Hal. It would have been super nice if maybe Hal was in a second set to maybe get the original version of Hal as a figure. That would literally be the best figure, I'm not gonna lie, because the original Hal looks better. Obviously that would have been kind of weird. I understand why they didn't do that. Okay, top 3. The Frozen Pig, the Frozen Moustache Pig, and Bubbles. So, in 3rd place we have Frozen Pig. Yeah, Frozen Pig, such a great figure. Love it so much. Not a single complaint. It's beautiful figure, beautiful. The snow or ice coming off of the snow is just really detailed. I love it. The colours are perfect. It's a beautiful figure, and I just can't say any complaints about it. Love it. And so, who's coming in 2nd and who's coming in 1st? We've got Bubbles and Frozen Moustache Pig. So, my favourite Angry Birds Mattel figure of all time is... It's Bubbles. Bubbles is my favourite one, but before we get to him, we'll talk about Frozen Moustache Pig. So Frozen Moustache Pig, though, it was such a close tie, but then I picked Bubbles over him. But, like, he's just such a great figure. It saddens me how rare he is, but at the same time, I'm glad he's one of the rarer ones, considering how beautiful and amazing he is. He is slightly better than Frozen Pig, just because it's Moustache Pig, and Moustache Pig looks cooler. But yeah, the Frozen Moustache, everything, it just looks beautiful. I love this figure so much, and I really hope to one day own it, considering it's one of the only 2 I don't have. But our winner is Bubbles. This figure is so beautiful. Sure, it may not look as accurate to the games. It is perfectly accurate. There's really nothing that could make it more accurate. However, from the front, Bubbles just looks kind of different to the games. However, I don't care. This is the cutest figure. Sorry, Lightning Blue. But this is so adorable. There's just nothing wrong with this figure. I just love holding it so much. It's a perfect shape, and it's just perfect. This is a beautiful figure. And I really hope everyone who collects Angry Birds Mattel can one day own this figure. Everyone needs it. It's beautiful. The beak's beautiful. The hair is beautiful. And yeah, beautiful figure. So that was all the Angry Birds Mattel figures ranked, in my opinion. Don't complain in the comments if you don't agree. However, you can post your opinion in the comments. I'd love to see it. Who's your favourite? Who's your least favourite? And also, I'm very surprised that I seem to be the first person to do this. I haven't actually seen anyone else do it. But yeah, let me know if you think I should make a tier list about the Angry Birds Mattel figures. And lastly, I want to mention the r/Angry Birds Mattel subreddit. Make sure to go check it out for everything Angry Birds Mattel related. And I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.